Hello and welcome back to my workshop. This is video 7 in the series that I'm recording for building a coffee table out of a pallet, which I thought would be 2 or 3 videos. I thought would be relatively simple and has turned out to be anything but, and I'm really not sure it's anything I would try again, or I would certainly do it very differently. So this will be the final build video. I will definitely see the build through to completion and the table will be finished at the end of this video. I may then do a final follow-up short video just to go through my costings and my lessons learnt and how long I spent on each stage and what I would do differently next time, just because I think that's quite useful. I have learnt so many lessons from the mistakes that I've made that would mean I would do it very differently next time. So here we go. Let's see this table through to completion. You may remember earlier I mentioned that I still had to put a side skirt on the ends of the 2 ends of the pallet to cover up the fact that this is actually just a hardwood veneer. It doesn't actually go all the way down. Underneath it is just pallet wood filling the gap. And I didn't fill the gaps particularly neatly because I knew that they wouldn't, I didn't think about the fact that they would be visible, but obviously they are visible from the ends. So I was looking to put some sort of side skirt along the 2 ends, but then I decided that that would look a bit odd if I didn't have a similar size skirt along all sides. And it's grown and basically it's turned into actually a massive side skirt covering up the entire side of the pallet. So I sent the picture to a few different people and seemed to get fairly positive feedback, particularly in this antique pine colour. And actually I've got used to it over the last few days with more and more I look at it. So I think I'm actually going to put a skirt this deep all the way around the entire thing. I have still got to work out what I'm going to do at the corners here, because these pieces of wood that have come off a pallet are only as long as the pallet. Therefore I've got to put something on the end here to join, and unfortunately you are going to be able to see the joint on the edge on the front of the table, which is a shame. I would like to have covered that up. So I haven't quite worked out what I'm going to do on the corners yet, but I like the idea of these skirts and I'm going to have them going all round all 4 sides. So they're all painted up now, ready to go on. One of the things that I thought was a bit of a shame was that I don't want to hide the fact that it is a pallet, and I quite like these EPAL logos that you get on the wooden blocks. So I've downloaded an EPAL logo from the internet and I've got a laser engraver. I'm actually going to have a go at laser engraving the EPAL logo onto here, see what that looks like. I think it might look quite fun. And then I'm going to glue them, probably nail gun them while the glue's going off. I think that'll probably be enough. I think once the glue's gone off, there's not going to be a huge amount of stress on these side skirts. So that should be enough to hold them in place, I would have thought. I think I'm finally in a position where I'm ready to start fitting the skirt after what seems like days and days, if not longer than that. The problem I've got is because it's a pallet, no 2 angles are the same, no piece of wood is straight. If I'm brutally honest, I think actually if I was to do this again, I'd probably just take the pallet apart, square all the wood and put it back together as if it looked like a pallet, because I'm just fighting the pallet the whole time. You've got things like the fact that this 45-degree chamfer here is much deeper than this 45-degree chamfer here, so it's not even square. I can't even make all my angles the same. But I think I've got at least 3 parts of the skirt ready to go on, and then I'm making these small blocks to go on the corners, but I'll show you that when it's done, when it's finished, hopefully. Wish me luck. Okay, that's the table finished now. Just got to wait for that varnish, final layer of varnish to dry, which will be about 4 hours. That's the second layer that I've put on as per the instructions. It's turned into an absolute mammoth project. This is the 7th video, and I'm going to do one final video, which will just be to wrap up lessons that I've learnt and go through how long I spent on each section and what I would do differently. I had no idea it was going to take me that long. I might not tackle it again, but if I did tackle it, I'd tackle it very, very differently. But that's the whole point of doing it for me, really, is to learn lessons as I go along, and I hope that maybe somebody watching this video might be able to learn a lesson or two without having to actually make the mistake themselves. Given how long it's taken, it's actually become a bit of a personal table to me, and I've decided in the end, for many reasons, but partly because it has become so personal to me, I've decided not to sell it, and we're going to stick it in our sitting room and live with it for a few weeks and see how we get on with it. Hopefully we'll keep it. I like to keep it, but it's not just my decision. Saw just now I put LED lighting under the table, not for everybody's taste, but I decided it was an idea that I had, and I decided for the extra £5 or £10 or whatever it was to stick them underneath, that it was an option. When I was thinking about selling it, I was thinking it was an option that might appeal to some people, and ultimately if you don't like them, you just don't ever switch them on. So it doesn't detract from the table in any way. It just gives an extra, might open it up to an extra set of people who might think it's quite funky. So that's it, that's a wrap. I'm going to basically let that varnish dry, and then I'm going to transport it very carefully somehow down to the house and put it in place and see what the wife thinks of it. Thank you for sticking with me for the duration of the project. I know it's been a long drawn out one, but I've enjoyed it and I've learnt a lot, and I hope you have as well. So until next time, stay safe.